Why would a competitive gaming brand send a premium flagship esports keyboard to a 3D printing channel? Well, because this is the MelGeek MADE68 Ultra V2, and as it turns out, it is designed from the ground up to be entirely customizable using 3D printed parts. We were thrilled to design our own custom RGB light guides. You can imagine Levi's excitement to test out its advanced gaming features and to see how our 3D printers could push this modular design to the limit. But as you know, around here, things don't always go according to plan. We made some embarrassing mistakes during the reassembly. Stripped a tiny precision screw, scratched up the beautiful aluminum frame, and eventually had to bring out the Dremel to rescue it. But don't worry, we are going to show you exactly how we used our 3D printers to fully recover, test customer service along the way, but also create some mind-blowing custom backplates, and I even managed to surprise Levi for his birthday. This is gerGO, and welcome to gerGO Print 3D, our YouTube channel where we explore 3D printers, laser cutters, and occasionally take power tools to premium gaming gear. As always, this video includes curated, translation-ready subtitles, detailed chapter markers, and audio tracks in over 20 languages now. Let's see what we have here. When the package arrived, I did not give all the details to Levi. He was eager to unbox it.
This is kind of a keyboard, some competitive gaming keyboard. I don't know much about it.
I wanted this to be a surprise. And what a surprise it turned out to be. As he pulled the basic cardboard package away, we saw the logo.
Mel plus geek equals MelGeek, okay.
And inside that was the real box. But before we even got to the hardware, the very first things that fell out were actual 3D printed back panels. Levi was a bit puzzled. Looking at the included Allen key and these printed plates, I joked they didn't know we can 3D print for ourselves. Clearly, MelGeek knows exactly what kind of customization the community loves. One of the plates even had their motto on it.
Play for fun, not to win. I don't agree.
Spoken like a true competitive gamer. Seeing those plates, I instantly knew what I wanted to slice for our first custom design using Levi's favorite printer, the Sovol SV08.
I'm getting goosebumps, just so you know.
Hear the trembling in his voice?
It's magnetic.
The presentation blew us away. You've seen Levi unbox a few things before. His first impressions were off the charts here. I say this premium experience makes it completely gift ready right out of the gate, which was perfect since this was secretly destined to be his birthday present. We got to the accessories box first. Inside we found some cool bee stickers, a premium braided cable that looks to be about 2 meters long, some alternative keycaps, and a custom key puller.
And it's hot swappable, I think, because it has a switch changer.
You have to admire his restraint, not grabbing the keyboard first. But we finally got there.
Okay, so here comes the big thing, and this is heavy. Okay, so this is very heavy. Wow. Wow. Made out of metal. Also, here's a peel. Wow. Best sounding peel I ever heard.
Just look at his face.
Oh my. This is so good.
The acoustic profile of this keyboard is fantastic, thanks to its 5-layer sound dampening gasket mount structure. But it's not just for gaming. As a custom keyboard, the soft yet supportive typing feel reduces hand fatigue, making it incredibly comfortable for long work hours, editing videos, and daily office use. I had a good number of days to test it as my primary keyboard.
Give us a tour. What do we see? It's a 68 key keyboard, I think.
So it has this home del, page up, page down. It has the arrows. It doesn't have F keys, but it has a FN.
Instead of Windows, it's a system.
For those of you migrating away from Windows 11. And we found an independent button on the back for switching modes. We went to plug it in.
Ready, set, go. Nothing.
Our basic USB 2 extension cable didn't provide enough power. We had to plug it directly into one of the main USB ports on my computer to give this beast the juice it needed.
Wow.
But once we did, it lit up and we were ready to test. Now, for our core 3D printing audience without a nephew in the know, you might be wondering what makes this keyboard a competitive gaming keyboard. This blew my mind. Traditional mechanical keyboards have physical metal contacts that touch when you press a key. The MADE68 Ultra V2 uses magnetic switches. There are no physical contacts. Instead, Hall effect sensors measure exactly how far the key is being pressed in real time. This unlocks features that give gamers a massive advantage. When we downloaded their user-friendly Hive 2.0 software, we gained access to super key functions. You can see the whole list here. SOCD, or simultaneous opposite cardinal direction. In games, if you press left and right at the same time, you usually just stop. With SOCD, the keyboard can prioritize the last key you pressed, allowing for instant direction changes without losing momentum. Then there is Rapid Snappy. When selected keys are pressed at the same time, the keyboard continuously compares their depth, and only the key with the deeper press depth is triggered. Only when both are fully bottomed out are they both triggered. It is an absolute game changer for counter-strafing, I'm told. Levi wanted to configure DKS, or dynamic keystroke. Because the keyboard knows exactly how deep the key is pressed down, to a fraction of a millimeter, you can assign different actions to different depths. Let me explain. We programmed the W key, forward, for Sea of Thieves. If Levi half presses the key, his character walks. If he fully bottoms out the key, his character breaks into a sprint. He doesn't need to press a modifier key together with the forward button. But let's bring this back to our DIY workshop. DKS isn't just for gaming. Imagine using it in Lightburn or Orca Slicer. You could program your arrow keys so that a delicate half press nudges an object by 0.1 millimeter for precise alignment, but a full heavy press moves the object by 10 millimeters for large adjustments, all without ever needing to hold down a shift or control modifier key. One-handed variable control. The productivity applications for a keyboard like this are actually incredible. Another feature that blew my mind is multi-stage trigger, which takes this even further. Let me show you in the Notepad application. Just for test, I programmed the Q key to send 1 when pressed lightly, 2 when half pressed, and 3 when pressed fully. You can imagine how this can be useful to select a spell or weapon in a game when you just place your finger on the key and activate it when you fully press it. But it can increase the utility of every single key on your keyboard in any application. And of course, the Hive 2 software manages the dynamic RGB lighting effects as well, which are going to be crucial for making our 3D printed mods pop. Just look at all the various patterns that can be animated on the front, back, and sides independently or synced together. We've been able to test Valorant, for example, where the keyboard becomes part of the screen with special effects for various events in the game, like for kills. In other games, or when just watching movies or your favorite YouTube channel, you can program the keyboard to come alive with the rhythm of the music and sounds, or mirroring the actual image on the screen. We had to test everything first, but then it was time to pull this keyboard apart and see how we could customize those back panels. Can you hear the foreshadowing music? Prepare for the verse, this will hit hard. how to get to that backplate. We looked for instructions. We checked the printed manual, but it was just a layout guide. We checked the official website. Nothing. We even searched YouTube, but because this keyboard model is so new, there were no teardown guides anywhere. And that's actually a big reason we are making this video. We were flying blind, making mistakes, so you don't have to. Mistake number 1, we removed all the screws. We saw 8 tiny Torx M2 screws on the sides, and when the back panel did not budge after just removing the top ones on either side, we started unscrewing all 8. We actually took off the lower side panels, which, spoiler alert, you are absolutely not supposed to do just to swap the backplate. This in itself would not have been that disastrous, but instead of using the perfectly good Allen key that MelGeek provided, we grabbed our electric precision screwdriver to speed things up. Power tools and tiny precision hardware? They should not mix. Only after stripping the sides completely did we realize the tinted back cover just needed a little extra force to pry free. Those 2 top screws are indeed enough to remove. But we did manage to get that back panel replaced after all, just before everything went to hell during reassembly. We were way too excited and kept using that electric screwdriver, applying far too much torque to those poor little screws, completely stripping the Torx grips right off the screw heads, and even worse, tearing some of the threading on the keyboard chassis itself. These Hotto precision screwdrivers are strong. Probably not the best moment to mention. You can get it with a 15% discount using our code in the description below. Those screws were spinning in place and stuck. We tried larger Torx bits, no cigar. We tried drilling a slot into the screw head, which was a terrible idea. The drill bit slipped and violently scratched up that beautiful dark anodized aluminum side panel. Ouch! It was time to bring out the big guns, the atomic bomb. I brought out the Dremel we got from AliExpress last year. Even our most worn down cutting disc was a bit too big, but the plate was already scratched, so I carefully used the tool to cut a proper slit into the ruined screw head. I bit into the plate too, but at this point we were just happy to be able to bag that screw out using a flathead. I'm sorry for all the discomfort watching this. It's admittedly uglier than that chest burster scene. But sacrificing our hardware to save yours is not an alien concept for us. To encourage us, please hit those like, subscribe and hype buttons in no particular order. After all, we are only giving you what we promise in our motto. So here's the correct way to swap the back panel. You only need to remove the top back screws on the 2 sides. That's it. Then you should be able to pull the acrylic cover right off. It just needs a bit of extra force in the beginning. Now we had a scratched up side panel and ruined screws. MelGeek's customer service is fantastic and they urgently sent us replacement parts, so Levi has the option to go back to the original aluminum look, but we are a 3D printing channel. I took a picture of the ruined aluminum plate, imported it into Fusion 360 using the canvas feature, traced it, scaled it, and designed a custom replacement. We sent the file to our Bamboo Lab H2S, printing it with a 0.2mm nozzle on a smooth cryo grip plate using Filamentry's gorgeous jet black PLA blaster. Not only did we fix the broken part, but we customized it, embossing Levi's name directly into the side profile. We also swapped out all 8 Torx screws for slightly longer standard Phillips head M2x5 screws. They grabbed onto the deeper undamaged threads and gave the board a cool, consistent look. And I've published these custom side panel STL files on our Called 3D page. So if you own a MADE68 V2, you can download them and print your own custom nameplates in any color, even if you haven't messed up your originals. With the keyboard repaired, it was time to design custom RGB plates, the original 3D printing idea MelGeek had in mind. For the very first one, I had Levi load some beautiful white PLA blaster into the Sovol SV08. I started the print, but then asked him to collect it after it completed in about 30 minutes. And that's when he saw the custom text confirming this beast was indeed his. MelGeek had unknowingly sent us this review unit just in time for Levi's birthday. It turned out amazing, but for the best results, I actually recommend using cheaper white filament with less pigment in it. That allows the Hive 2 dynamic back illumination to really shine through the plastic. In the coming days, I printed more plates on our SV08 and Creality Plate 2 Plus. Did you see this keyboard in our last video displaying our channel motto right in front of me? I specifically designed a panel just for that cameo, because customizing these blank plates is incredibly easy in slicers like Orca, Creality Print or Bamboo Studio. You just add an SVG graphic or text directly onto the surface and extrude it to 4 millimeters. I printed all of them flat on their back, needing normal supports around the lower frame. To make support removal easier, it is a good idea to increase the support object distance a bit. For text and basic patterns, a standard 0.4 millimeter nozzle works perfectly. But if you want high resolution graphics, switch to a 0.2 millimeter nozzle. Also, your infill pattern might show through when the lights are on. Just keep that in mind when picking a pattern when slicing. I found that using just one wall on the top layer or setting the top layer to concentric gives a really consistent, beautiful look. On the morning of his birthday, I designed this highly detailed Sea of Thieves backplate using Glideburn's vector graphics capabilities, printing it at ultra high resolution using a 0.2 millimeter nozzle on the H2S as a surprise. This is one of the games we are playing now. In the afternoon, right after he got home from school, I took the keyboard over to his house. But I didn't just knock on the front door. I fired up the little DJI Neo 2 drone and flew it right up to his bedroom window. But he heard the buzz of the drone long before I got there. So I showed him all the panels I printed, but the biggest surprise was revealing the Sea of Thieves backplate already installed. We got the setup ready on his desk, and when the RGB lit up that custom 3D printed light guide, it looked absolutely incredible. The way the dynamic lighting effects interact with the 3D printed layers is simply stunning. We took the opportunity to do the test in Geometry Dash to compare his old mechanical keyboard to the MADE68 V2. Then tested Minecraft too. The difference between his old setup and the rapid trigger performance of the MADE68 is night and day. MelGeek has created something truly special here. Not only is the MADE68 Ultra V2 a top-tier custom keyboard with incredible software features, but their active encouragement of the DIY and 3D printing community is something we absolutely love to see. 1 week later, the package from MelGeek arrived with the replacement parts, and let's see what's in the box.
Okay. So
they sent a complete replacement. Look at that.
And screws.
The original. So now we are. Did they send a new Allen key? No.
No, they didn't.
We are going to use the Allen key this time.
If you want to get your hands on the MADE68 Ultra V2 and start printing your own mods, click the link in the description and use our exclusive code gerGO and my name to get it with exclusive discounts when you purchase today. And don't forget to check out our Cult 3D page as well for all the custom backplate designs and repair parts we used in this video. And speaking of custom parts, if you wanted to take our customized side panel designs and have it professionally machined out of actual aluminum for under 30 bucks a pair, you can use the coupon codes we mentioned in this video right here. And if you want to see how that gorgeous filamentary PLA bastard is made, watch our recent tour at their factory in this. Now go print 3D. Thank you for watching another gerGO Print 3D video all the way to its end. Just be a bit more gentle than us.